Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new chapter for class 11th, which is unit and dimensions. Now, first of all, my question to you is that how do you think you communicate with each other? When you talk to each other, you use a particular language in order to communicate with each other, in order to let others know what are your thoughts, what are your feelings. So that's why there is certain language which helps you to communicate with each other. Now just imagine, had there been no language, if we remove the language from your communication process, then do you think that you will be able to let the others know what you're thinking, communicate with others? So without the language, it is going to be very difficult. But there are, other means of communication like non-verbal communication, okay, which is sign language. But then sign language itself becomes a language. So whatever is the case, language is one important part of your life. You will always need language, for all your communication and for all your day-to-day activities. So now, how do you communicate physics? Physics is a subject. If you want to communicate physics to your friends, to your teachers, if your teachers want to communicate physics to you, then what language do they use? Suppose if I say that a force between two bodies is directly proportional to the product of the two masses and inversely proportional to the distance between them, you will get confused with such a long sentence. So that means I'm just using English, okay, in order to tell you something about a law. But then, in this case, if the same sentence I write it in a form of equation, for example, F is equal to G M1 into multiply by M2 divided by R square, where I tell you that M1 and M2 are the mass of the bodies and R is the distance between them. So if I represent the same statement in a form of equation, then it makes a lot of sense to you, because now you know that if the mass increases, then the force between them increases. But if the distance between the two masses increases, then because you know that distance is inversely proportional to force, which means that if my R increases, then it is going to also reduce the force between the two bodies. So now this equation makes a lot of sense to you. You're able to understand what is the relationship, what is the correlation between force, between mass. Now, what did you use to make this such a long sentence, make some sense to you? You used mathematics. Apart from English, you also used mathematics. So I would say that mathematics is a language of physics. Okay, most of us talk mathematics if we want to interpret some physics law or some principles in physics. So math is very, very important when we are studying physics. Now, physics helps us to understand various activities around us. So let's understand how physics as a subject helps us to study activities around us. So for that, let's take an example. We have our friend here, Peter Pan, and his mom asked him to go to the market and buy some apples. Okay, 2 kgs apple, let's say. So now Peter Pan starts from his home and he has to reach the market in order to buy the apples. So now he decides to take his bicycle and buy the apples. So now this situation, this activity of Peter Pan going from his house to market can be studied by studying various different physical quantities. Like, you can study what is the distance that he's traveled. Let's say he has traveled 5 kilometers or he has traveled 2 kilometers. So you can talk in terms of how much distance. So you know how far is the market from his place, right? Then you can talk in terms of the time. He has taken 30 minutes or he has taken 60 minutes. How much time has he taken? With what speed did he go? Did he go with 20 meters per second or 20 kilometers per hour. What speed did he really follow? What is the speed that he took? What was the acceleration in between? Was he was getting late, or he was actually reaching early, so he thought of just spending some more time, so he increased or reduced his speed. So what is the acceleration? So there are various different activities that we can actually study in order to study this entire activity of Peter Pan. But then just by studying this activity doesn't give us the complete information. And as I told you, he traveled 5 kilometers or 5 meters. There is one more thing that was missing, what we just studied. What was missing is units. For example, if I tell you that he traveled 5 distance, what do you mean? He traveled 5 kilometers, or he traveled 5 meters, or he traveled 5 miles. What is that which he traveled? He traveled for 30 minutes, or he traveled for 30 seconds, or he traveled for 30 hours. What is it? So just by telling us the number, the magnitude of every physical quantity doesn't make any sense to us. What is important in this case is to attach one more thing, which is called as unit, to every physical quantity. Right? Similarly, speed, velocity and acceleration also has to have certain unit attached to it. Then only it will make some sense. Now, let's say, for example, just to understand more about unit, let's say he reaches the market and now he decides about, 2 kgs. Okay. So how does he know whether these 5 apples is equal to, 2 kgs of apples? This one, the first one. Or 10 apples are actually going to make 2 kgs. Okay. Which one of these two is going to give him 2 kgs of apple? 5 kgs is equal to 2 kgs of apple, or 10 apples is equal to 2 kgs of apple? So now that he understands what is unit, he wants to actually measure it accurately. Okay. So how can he decide which is 2 kgs? Okay. Now, suppose he wants to study distance. So I just told you whether he traveled 5 kilometers, or he traveled 5 meters, or he traveled for 5 miles. He needs to know how much did he travel, right? So for that, suppose he wants to know let's say he traveled for 5 kilometers. Now, how does he know how do you know how much is 5 kilometers? So for that, you need to know what is 1 kilometer. So let's say this is 1 kilometer. This distance is what is 1 kilometer. So then you can just multiply it by 5 and you can get 5 kilometers distance. So after understanding why units are important, it is very important to understand what are the standard units. Standard means the basic units. Okay. So for 5 kilometers, you need to know what is the standard 1 kilometer distance. 5 meters. For 5 meters, you need to know what is 1 meter standard distance. Then only you will be able to understand what is 5 meters of distance. Okay. When we compare a physical quantity, it involves a comparison with another quantity, which is also basic, which is also arbitrarily chosen and internationally accepted. So a unit has to be basic. Basic means the smallest unit. It has to be the standard one. So if I want to know what is 5 kgs of apples, I have to know what is 1 kg. Correct. So, and it is arbitrarily chosen, means it is randomly chosen. We have assumed that, let us assume that this amount of mass is 1 kg mass. Let us assume that this amount of this length is 1 kilometer or 1 meter. So it is arbitrarily chosen. Then it is internationally accepted. So when we decide on a particular quantity, it has to be it has to be accepted by everyone. It has to be internationally accepted. That's why, 1 kilometer here in India is also going to be equal to 1 kilometer anywhere in the world. There is not going to be any controversy on that issue, right? So what is unit? Unit is that basic, arbitrarily chosen and internationally accepted reference standard. Reference means something which we can always compare. Okay, we can always compare any physical quantity to this smallest unit. Okay, and we will never go wrong. So those are the units. Now, as we just learned, of any physical quantity, for example, let's say speed, it has two parts. One is the magnitude, another one is the unit. So for example, let's take a physical quantity like distance. Okay, so I'm taking a physical quantity distance here. So distance will have magnitude, which is, let's say, 5 kilometers, and unit will be either kilometers, meters, miles, okay, anything. Nautical miles, statute mile, there are many, there can be many units of a physical quantity, in whichever quantity you want to express them. So every physical quantity has got two parts. One is magnitude and another one is unit. Okay, without these, a physical quantity is actually an incomplete quantity. But you will know in the in the later video sessions that we will discuss that there are some quantities which do not have units attached to it. So that we'll do it in the later part. Now, next question that you would ask me is, who authorizes these units? Okay, which is that agency? Suppose today if I come ahead and I say, okay, this is going to be 1 meter, would you accept it? If I say whatever meter is right now currently running, that is not the correct the distance of the meter, but I tell you that this much is the length of 1 meter, so would you accept it? No. So there is an agency which decides, and it is internationally accepted that whatever the agency decides is going to be the standard hereafter. So which is that agency? General Conference of Weight and Measures. Okay, this is the agency which decides on most of the physical quantities, the standard physical quantity. And in 1971, they came up with the Standard International System. Okay, Standard International System. So within these Standard International System, they said that there are 3 types of unit systems which will be followed all over the world. 3 types of unit system. The first one is CGS units. Next is FPS. And the third one is MKS. Okay. Now what is CGS? CGS. Look at this. C is centimeter, which is nothing but the length is generally measured in centimeters. G is grams. And S is seconds, which is time. Right? So let me just write it like this. I can write it mass, which is in grams, and time, which is in seconds. So length, mass and time. So the length will be in centimeters, mass will be in grams, and time will be in seconds. Okay. The second unit system is FPS unit system. F is foot, P is pounds, and S is seconds. So again, this is the length, this is the mass, and this is the time. Okay. The third one is MKS, which is again meter, kilogram and seconds. This is the one that we in India currently we follow in most of the situations, in most of the calculations. We here follow MKS unit, and you must have heard of foot or pounds, all these the other units also. So there are some countries which use the other unit system, but we basically follow MKS unit systems. And there is one more important point. You can actually convert any quantity from one unit system into the other unit system. Okay, that is also important for you to understand. So now you know who authorizes the unit and what are the various unit systems that are available here. Now talking about the unit systems, there are basically 2 types of units which are existing. One is what is known as the basic or the fundamental units. So basic fundamental units are those units which are not dependent on any other unit. Basically, they are independent, they're independent of each other. For example, length, weight, mass, and time. So these are the units which are independent. They don't depend on any other unit. Whereas derived quantities are the quantities which are dependent on each other. For example, let me just give you an example here. Area. Okay, how do you write the area? Suppose you have a rectangle here. Okay, this is the length and this is the breadth. What is the area here? Area will be L into B. Now L again is length. B again is a type of length. So the area, look at this, the area is written in terms of length only. So length, look at this, length is a basic quantity. So that's why I said area is a derived quantity, length is a basic quantity. So derived quantities are always written in terms of the basic quantities. Same is the case with your acceleration also. So let's say, how do you write acceleration? Acceleration is, your mass meter per second square. That's how you write the acceleration. So how can you write meter? Meter is length, because meter is the unit of length, okay, upon what is second? Second is time square. So look at this. So you can actually write LT power minus 2. So acceleration can be written as LT power minus 2. Now look at length. Length again is the basic quantity. Look at the time. Time is a basic quantity. So derived quantities are dependent on the basic quantity. You cannot just write derived quantity independent of the basic quantities. Fine. So these are the two types of quantities that are available, and there are 7 basic quantities which we have with us. These are the 7 basic quantities. Length, which is in meters, mass in kilogram, time is in seconds, electric current is in amperes, thermodynamic temperature is Kelvin, amount of substance, which is the quantity of the substance, is generally given in moles, which you must have studied in chemistry. Luminous intensity is the amount of light, the intensity of the light. So that is in candela. Then you have 2 more supplementary units, which is plane angle and solid angle. So regarding plane angle and solid angle, I'm going to take a separate session for making you understand what is plane and solid angle. Okay. Then we have the derived quantities: area, volume, speed, velocity, momentum, power, pressure. So all these are derived quantities. Fine. And there can be many other derived quantities which I have not mentioned here, but for you to understand, these are some of the simple derived units that I have shown. So this is enough for this session. We will continue with understanding each and every basic quantity in the next video session. That's all for today. In case you have any questions regarding this session, put down in the comment section and I'll get back to you. So thank you so much.